Woo.
Nice.
Noise.
All right. Well, a couple things we're going to cover today. Day after, night before podcast. Always tired. Being tired. Everyone's kind of like enjoying the W hangover from last night.
Yeah, ironically, we were all excited about it being an early start, and then we get fucked with the OT. But it's a win. I'm glad it was only technically double overtime, but it was like, what, a minute into the second OT? So, not too concerned.
That's only like 36 seconds. I mean, it was a big game. I think that there's a bit of talk around how much of a statement game it was, and I kind of agree with that. It was definitely something that made a point.
I listened to like all the main casts today, and oddly enough, a lot of them are talking about Dallas's depth.
Yeah, I couldn't find it, like, for something that was so big and deep. Like, it was hard to see. I don't know, was it like on the ice there, or like was it in the stands? Like, is that what they're talking about? Like that the front row of the fucking rink is deep? Is that what they're talking about? The camera angles are deep?
Dude, the camera angles are shit.
I've never like connected that dot that much, but like the puck goes on the like camera side, like up against the boards. The players disappear, the puck disappears. You're like, what's going on?
Man, it was so bad. Like that entire front part of the boards. Anytime the puck went on that side, I had no idea. I had no idea where the puck was. Half the time I was like, what's happening? Like, where is it? What's going on?
Yeah, that was brutal.
That was very annoying.
But I mean, I think that there's a few things that stood out for me. Is that the Oilers obviously answered two very interesting questions that people thought was, well, I think here's the thing that I'm kind of along the lines of thinking, because everyone was like, oh, the edge for depth is Dallas, edge for goaltending is Dallas, edge for the power play is Oilers, and edge for the penalty kill is Oilers. But like the Oilers had the edge in all of those. Like, I didn't see a problem with the Oilers' depth at all. I didn't see anything special about having Sagan on line 2. Like, we have Draisaitl on line 2. Like, if their line 3 and 4 is so stellar, what were they doing? And like Tanev, I don't think he had a terrible game, but he got beat like every time.
Well, and like you heard the stat about that pair too, right? Like I think they talked about it in the broadcast. Yeah. Like in the first 13 games or whatever it was, they only allowed 2 goals on that pair the entire time, and then last night 2 goals on that pair in like 4 minutes.
But it wasn't even like like, it's not that Tanev couldn't have done something. Like, Hyman literally just muscled around 2 guys, bear mugging him, and he still put it through their amazing, incredible goalie.
I know.
And like Ottinger and Skinner have the same save percentage over the season. Like,
I know.
it's the exact same, and everyone's like, oh, who's so good? I'm like, okay.
I know. Like, and it's just like we had the best record since January. 6 months of the best record in the NHL, better than the Dallas Stars. Okay, maybe they started better, but like, I don't think they're giving us enough credit, and they still don't. And they just get all of the outlets are stuck in this like 2-3 year old Oilers. They think that this is gonna happen, think that that's gonna happen, but we're playing these tight games. We're winning. And if we cleaned up Literally, in the past like 2 3 games, if we cleaned up a couple flubs, they're shutouts.
Well, and like the thing is that it's I don't know why the narrative has to go that way, but they're like trying to force it.
Yeah,
And I mean, where was Dallas's power play? Like, has anybody
dude,
seen
we
them?
shut them down so hard. They couldn't even get in the blue line. We had
No
more.
shots on the 4 minute or wasn't it?
I think we had better chances on our penalty kills than they did on their power plays, and there was 10 minutes. We had two breakaways on our penalty kill.
Yeah, I mean, that's in and of itself its own topic because like how in the like we were talking about this during the game, like how does Dallas allegedly play a penalty proof game? There
That's
was like
bugs me.
the slash on Bouchard was the softest thing I've ever seen.
The shin pad, like, how was the
Well,
ref on the other side of the ice calling that one?
and I agree McDavid should have gotten the high stick, but they should have whistled it down immediately. And also fucking Duchesne should have been penalized for holding.
Yeah. Well, and like you can
Like, how do you
tell.
video review it and not see that Duchesne's holding as well? Like, you can't just like tunnel vision and be like, oh, I guess I'm reviewing only one thing here.
Well, they only can review it because it was a double or whatever, right? Like, oh, he's tired. Um, that whole sequence was just. I mean, I get it, but it was just so fresh. And the way it happened, it was like, he gets hit. You can tell he gets kind of hit. I mean, he goes down
Duchesne.
like a fucking sack of potatoes. Like, again, embellishing. Like, there was 3 or 4 times where Dallas embellished hard, like dying on the ice hard, and they're not calling it. And
I mean, I guess I don't really care because I'm like, the Oilers still beat them. Like, I feel like that would have been a game 2 or 3 years ago that they lost because
oh
of
man,
that.
last year we would have lost that.
Like they just be deflated, everyone, "Oh, just a power play, just a power play." But what about the penalty kill? What about their 5-on-5 strength? What about
What
their
about
depth? What about
everything?
goaltending? Yeah,
What about
exactly.
everything, man? Like, and especially last night. But it's not just the one night. Like the last 2 games against Vancouver were the same thing. In these playoffs, we have only let what, two power play goals in? Is that it?
And it's not like they like other teams haven't had their fair share of power plays. The Vancouver series
It was
had more penalties for than against.
what? LA was what, 15? It was 15 for 15 because it was perfect. And then Vancouver, I think, was like, I feel like it was more than that. Was it 17? Because it was 7 games
I mean, there's probably a way we can find out, but
or 21 or something. I saw the numbers up there, but and there's no way that Dallas played a perfect, clean game.
no. Well, I mean, everyone's like, they're not usually getting penalties, but I'm like, why?
But that doesn't mean that they're not doing shit.
Exactly.
Like,
Like, are they embellishing a lot? Like, is this actually the only thing that they did? I
that's
find that
it.
hard to believe.
There's no
This was
way.
a joke of a penalty.
That was so stupid. And the
Holding
the, the
against Jamie
holding was
Benn.
garbage too. He hardly even touched the guy.
This one was probably the only one that was like maybe
Yeah, I
kind
mean
of
it was a high hit.
egregious.
His arm went up. Fine. Okay, so 2 penalties out of those we could take, but the other ones are just trash.
And it's just the missed calls were just unbelievable. Actually, I felt like there was more penalties than this.
It's because one was 4 minutes.
Okay, so here's my proposition about the double minor too. I think if they're going to review them, which they usually do, no fucking double minor for unintentional contact. And they can tell what that is. If it's like a follow through or behind you or you're on the ground and you
Or you're trying to
somehow
get your stick out from a guy's arm.
like a high sticking where you're literally like doing this and you can see where your stick is going and you
Yeah,
know that you're going to, that should be a double minor.
yeah.
I don't even care if you draw blood. the main thing they should be trying to tell is if it's intentional or coincidental.
Hmm.
And even then, like, it's arguable whether coincidental should be a penalty at all. Wear a
Yeah.
fucking cage if you're that worried about it, but, like, you're going to get hit in the face because it's a game with sticks.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. What do you expect? But the
Well, and they
people
ride
getting
up
penalties
like,
for falling over and, like, accidentally smoking someone in the chin? Come on.
yeah, it's
How is that a penalty?
well, and he
It's
was
a hockey
trying to
play.
get his stick out from being held. He is so tired of getting held the entire game. Like every time he's on the ice, someone's holding him, someone's grabbing him. There's a dirty, he gets his stick and someone's holding his stick the entire game. So when he gets it held and he's trying to get his stick out, he rips it out. Like he gave it. Like he was like, give me my fucking stick. And that's when he got hit in the beak. And it's like, yeah, man, if you hold the guy's stick and he's trying to pull it out from there, you might get hit. You chose to hold his stick. It
That's why we
happens.
should probably keep our eye out for who's going to be on the ice here. Got
There's
Eric
a fucking
Furlat, Kelly
Sutherland.
Sutherland. And like maybe I'm gonna take like a little
Oh my
pen and
gosh, they
see
have
which.
lines person in there. They say they have
I know.
lines person.
Show me a line woman.
But where's the woman in the? If there was a woman referee in the NHL, fine. But there isn't. It's a linesman.
Nope, wrong. It's not.
Oh my god. But like even in the PWHL or whatever, if it was a woman linesman, I would still say you're a linesman. That is the role.
They don't care what you think, man.
Fuck those guys.
Is uh is Henrique actually an assistant captain?
No. Maybe like
Yes, the
alternative,
A's, but
alternative.
that's weird. Like, who is the Draisaitl? I know Nurse was for a while. I guess he got removed.
Didn't he still have it? Does he
No,
not
look at
have
him.
that anymore?
Not enough.
No, I'm trying to
I
think if
mean,
I've seen it or
oops, that's all zoomed in. I mean, the face-off was a bit of an issue.
not. Yeah, they beat us on the face. That was pretty good.
But it's not like that was consequential. And like the Dallas Stars did hit a lot of posts, which was kind of sketchy. When I looked, like, kind of went back, they hit a lot of posts.
How many? 3?
I don't know,
I feel like
but
if you're
like it
gonna
was
say it's a
critical
lot of
posts.
posts, you should know how many posts it was.
Okay,
I think it
well,
was
you're just
maybe
gonna call
3.
me out like that.
We hit posts too. Ekholm, dinger off the post. I think Kane had a post.
Where's like the totals
Both
here?
both teams hit posts. Like that's a. I think this is
So
a.
44% in the face-off.
I think this is a better matchup than people gave us credit for, and I think people are calling it based on old Oilers. But I mean, the amount of games where we've won by 1, there's a lot.
Well, it's like, I mean, if Stu has unearthed his inner zen and just like completely, like I think that the next game is going to be very interesting because if they can tap into Game 7, like they kind of everyone was kind of thinking, or at least the comments after the ice, or there's like, like we had momentum, we brought it in from Game 7. Like it's like they were kind of riding that gritty, go get it attitude. How many games does that translate to? Um, it'd be really nice to somehow steal 2 in Dallas because now the
That'd be
doubt sets
crazy, man.
in. Now the upset is more legit.
That'd be
They have
crazy.
5 games to win 2 at that point,
That'd be crazy.
and they, like, a good chunk of those are at home. Like, but it's the Oilers, right? So you can at least they didn't get swept, right? Like, so we're in the Western Conference Final,
This is arguably the
100% not
farthest
swept
McDavid's ever been.
as far as wins.
well, just like since we won the first one, no matter what we do, technically we're further than McDavid's ever been.
But like, I don't know, just they had an air of determination. Some like I felt like you could kind of see the doubt, like generally amongst Vancouver,
Mm-hmm.
like in amongst the team during the Vancouver series. It's like they were trying to figure out how to beat Vancouver and wonder if they could.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like, how do we get to the Stanley Cup final? Like they're kind of like, this is actually close now. We're so close. What are we gonna do to get there? And it seems like that's kind of like a team buy-in thing.
Well, I think it's a if we play our game, we will win.
And I think honestly that they've shown that that is true. And like it looked to me a lot closer to their was it 17 game streak.
Yeah, it felt a lot closer to that.
And I
And like
like
the best
Carrick
thing
out
about
there.
that,
He's the only thing that's
Carrick looks
different.
so good, man. Like Carrick, he's 100% effort. He's in the corners. He's digging it out. He's hitting guys. He's good in the face-offs.
He's better than Perry. You have to at least admit that.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and if Henrique comes back, you're kind of like, okay, what do you do? Because you know
You don't
we've been
break it if it
playing.
ain't broke, honestly.
That's the problem. Like I know he's a good player, and he was on the team, and we played really well. It does give us a little bit more depth, but with Holloway, Draisaitl, and Kane, that line is doing so well together. Like they seem to have some really nice chemistry going. Um, you're kind of like, why would you change it? And yeah, I don't know. It's a tough decision. I know that he talked on media today, and he was like,
Nobla?
yeah, he was like, Henrique's really close. He's like 98%. Maybe we give him one more, 2 day spread here, get him at 100%, and then he comes back. Maybe he plays at home. But I mean, who are you taking out? Because Brown has been fucking phenomenal on the PK,
I think you take out Derek Ryan, honestly.
but he's been so good on the PK too. Those two
I
guys
guess,
are a
yeah.
huge part of why that PK is so well executed.
But the PK isn't just 4 guys, it's 8 guys. Like Nuge out there is huge.
Yeah, but like, yeah,
Maybe it is
it's
maybe
tough.
it isn't something you can just slot pieces in and out on. I don't know.
It's tough. Like, it's a tough call, and like, I'm glad I don't have to make it. Um,
I mean, Corey Perry was an obvious removal. He's just getting slow.
yeah. I mean, Fogel, he's not producing, but he's not producing either. Like, he's not hindering. The third and fourth line. Yes, it would be nice to get goals, but at the end of the day, what you want is for them to tire those lines that they're playing out against, so that we can get a change in and come at them with our top line while they're still hemmed in their zone. That's the ideal situation for the third, fourth line, and I think, and see, that's one argument towards bringing Henrique back. So like, okay, well, maybe you put Henrique with, I guess, I don't know, Draisaitl. You wouldn't probably break up the top line. Why would you
But
do
who's he going to
that?
take there? Like Holloway and Kane?
Well, that's just it,
I've
right?
liked
Like,
that line. That line was
I
buzzing.
know. So do you put him on the third line and give him third line depth there? Like, do you put him? Maybe that's it. Maybe you put him third line center. Put McLeod on a wing because he tends to play better on a wing. I don't think he's as good of a centerman.
Isn't that Derek Ryan's line though?
Is it?
Yeah.
Fuck
I don't know where do they show the lines usually?
yeah. I don't know, man. It's a tough one, and it's nice to have that kind of problem where it's like you want to replace a really good guy with a hopefully better guy, but like you're like, is it gonna be that much better? And if he's not 100%, is he gonna come in and when he came in against Vancouver, it's funny when you think about like these guys have been out for quite a few playoff games. It doesn't feel like that much time, but it's like he's been out for like a month. Like he's almost been like healing for a month now. Like it's crazy.
I just don't. It's like I think even it's just nice maybe to have him in the back. Like I don't think he's gonna remove something. Wait, line. So these were lines were together for 2 or more 5 forward lines.
Okay, so it's just like time for that line.
I mean, this was what one game played for 18 seconds. I wish like what are their actual lines here though? That's the main thing. Obviously, Henrique's been. Maybe we just get his let's shift report his face offs because like that's kind of the only thing that he'd be like better at. Wait, line tool would that work? Not that I want to mess around with this, but playoffs, all teams versus Dallas. Actually, is this like a comparison thing?
Oh, cars.
So I mean, what would the? Because I thought Brownie was on this. Where the hell do they? I know I've seen lines somewhere. Where do they post these?
I mean, Instagram probably.
I don't know. Maybe we just move on from that. But the other thing I wanted to talk about too is like I think everybody thought that on the second goal here, it went off Nurse's skate, but it doesn't. I don't know if you can see this.
Yeah, it went off the other guy, didn't it?
Hear that?
I just see an ad.
That came through super loud. Sweet ad, like just I don't know if this is a 50-second highlight, but
Like, what did he
everyone's
do
trying to
there?
give. Whoa, 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 whoa!
Whoa.
Trying to zoom in on it. I guess I can't. Oh, that means I have to watch that ad again.
Oh, bummer, dude.
Like, what kind of ad is this? And if I hit full screen, it just goes. This is just a cheeky video. That's all. It kind of sucks. Oh no, here we go.
Jeez. Freaking second.
So I'll try to. I don't know why the resolution's so bad, but there's like one angle where you can kind of see it. Goes off of Buddy's stick. It's not Nurse's skate.
Oh,
Like,
really?
look at his skate. The stick gets right in front of Nurse's skate.
Ah.
Right here, right here. See? It's off the
Oh,
skate,
yeah.
not the stick.
Wait,
Buddy
did he
got an
try
assist
to
on
do
that.
that?
But everyone's like, because if it went off of Nurse's skate, if you look at the way that he moves his foot over, I don't know, right here.
Yeah, Nurse is way over there.
Like Nurse's foot would have put it the other way.
Hmm.
Like if Nurse got that, he would have like pinned balled it over here. But Buddy, who's in front of Skinner, like, oh, can I move one frame here? It's like impossible to see with this resolution.
Oh yeah, no.
But if you, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I saw it
It's not.
right
See, look,
there.
it's
Yeah,
totally
yeah,
a stick.
yeah. Did he actually mean?
Everyone,
Did he mean to do that?
no. I think he was hoping to just like corral it and then. But I just thought that was interesting because people were kind of giving it the nurse effect and like, oh, it went off nurse. He was always everything's bouncing off nurse. I was like, well, to be fair, that one wasn't actually a nurse bounce.
Did you see Drysdale lighting a stick up?
Yeah, what was that all about?
I don't know. Like, I'm I'm guessing it. Maybe there was some frayed thing, like tape things on his stick, and he was just burning them off. Maybe it was like adhering it. I don't know. It was a weird one.
And like the Ottinger's incredible stick save didn't even touch Ottinger's stick. It hit Tanev. Like
Yeah, I
Tanev
know.
stopped that one.
Fucking Tanev.
So he got a bit of a redemption arc there. But yeah, I don't know. Like their top plays. No.
Did you see their like whole opening thing?
Dallas? No. Wasn't really paying attention.
Well, they don't. They
Why?
don't play it on there. Well, because like in the first series, they were making this big deal about play AI offs. For some reason, they were
AI?
making some big like deal about AI, and they got beat so hard that they basically like removed it from all their like social media and everything. But they still do it in the rink. Like, look at this shit. It's so
Oh,
fucking weird.
let's see it on the screen.
Well, I just have it on Instagram.
So I'm guessing it's something like play AI offs.
Well, it was an Oilers Nation. They took a video of it. Like,
What?
it's just so weird. Time for us to unite.
That's cringe.
It's so bad.
Big level.
And like
Get
they have these
loud.
the like cheerleaders on the ice with these like glowing sticks, and they're all dressed like Doctor Doom. Like they have like a Doctor Doom theme going on.
Why is it all
that guy's like
cyber?
Doctor. Like,
I guess because they're like kind of all lasers and electric green and
yeah,
stuff.
but what does it have to do with? First of all, what does that have to do with Dallas? Like, I don't know if you can find a better video of it, but like, it's so bad.
Also, like profile and resilience, they've rolled that show the whole way down the
They
game.
they yeah, they pushed it the entire time.
Why? And like everything's about like coping for Dallas. Like they were so close. Like they almost had it.
I know. It's like, why can't we have just beaten them?
I mean,
Like,
the funny thing is everybody's like, oh, they never win game ones. Like,
oh, I know that narrative too.
is that your only excuse for sucking? Like, and man, it's just like I can't remember. I saw a short too where people are just like, there's so many comments of like, I don't know why this is up. I don't need the Mavericks, but like they're like, oh, the Oilers are cooked. Like they're absolutely gonna get crushed. Like I'm sorry, Dallas is just the best team.
I
They're
know.
so deep. They're gonna absolutely roll over. And Skinner doesn't even stand in Ottinger's shadow. And like all these
They were
conversations
drafted
before
in
the
the
game.
same year. They're the same age.
And maybe that's why like Skinner is like, and like Skinner has good stats. He has more like crappy streaks for sure, but Ottinger is also prone to those too because like
Yeah,
there was a few shadowy comments on like on YouTube being like depends on which Ottinger you get. And
yeah,
it's the same thing with Skinner. Like you can like it wasn't Ottinger's fault for sure. There were a few games in Vancouver that were Skinner's fault. Like
mm-hmm.
it just he could have made a save and it would have been a different game.
Yeah.
But I would say, like, against the LA, he was fine for the most part.
Yeah.
And, like, anything that goes wrong with like Skinner's game is usually because of massive defensive collapses. But I think the Oilers have worked really hard this year to tighten that up, and it shows.
Yeah, we still get like one really bad one a game, but oh man, that Kulak whiff, like,
I don't understand
oh,
why they keep trying to do that. Like, what is with? Because McLeod did the same thing.
it was the
Why does
same side.
everyone fan? Why does
Same
everyone fan?
side of the ice too. Same side of the ice, same end, everything.
Skinner could have been ready. Like he got stunned. Like it was somebody threw the flashbang, and he's like, his ears are ringing. He's like, wait, what? And then you can see that he gets ready after.
Well, and Kulak should just throw that guy on the ground, but
I mean, Kulak did at least tie him up, but I don't know. It's kind of like they all gave up on the play. Like they're like, ah, shit. Like
yeah.
we've now turned this over. I don't know. It was an interesting game to say the least. I'm glad that they kind of
It was a fun game. Like,
180'd on all the narratives, even if it's just for one game. It was
mm-hmm.
still funny to watch like everyone choke on their words.
Well, and the whole like, oh, Dallas wins the game one all the time. It's like, yeah, well, we notoriously have a hard time winning game ones too.
I thought Dallas was deep.
And one guy scored both goals,
Yeah, what?
and we
Where's the
have
depth? Where's the depth?
McDavid, Hyman. Who scored the other one?
Zach.
Dry.
Oh, you
Our,
already
t-
said. Sorry.
our top three guys. That's depth. Your top three guys scored your goals. Hyman with 12 goals. Like, Hyman's got 12 goals. Draisaitl has a 13-game point streak. He has a point in every playoff game.
Well, yeah, it's funny because like, oh man, where's he? I wish I could find the short.
McDavid's not getting goals, but he's got over 20 points. Bouchard has the most 5-on-5 points out of anybody. Bouchard has the most points in 2 rounds by any defenseman ever. Like, when will they give us some semblance of respect here? And maybe I don't want them to. Maybe I want them to keep underestimating us. Maybe that helps us. But at some point, it's annoying to keep hearing, well, yeah, the Oilers really got to be careful here. Really got to be careful here. It's like, when does Dallas have to be fucking careful? The only guy that actually heard have any kind of respect was their coach, DeBoer, when he was talking about it before the series began. He was the only guy that was like, yeah, I mean, they have the best player ever. Like, he actually had some semblance of respect.
Well, it's like everybody's like trying to explain why Edmonton won, and it's not because they were better. It's like there
Yeah,
was reasons or something. Like I'm like,
yeah. It's like maybe they just outplayed them.
yeah. I mean, all the narratives I saw a lot of narratives from today, and I was just like, holy. I wish I could find the name of the video. I was just posting comments like that didn't age well on it. Like,
Oh, really? Well, and like after that game last night, the cup odds on Money Puck just went crazy. Like, I think we were at like 20% before, and now we're at 41.3% to win the cup after that win last night. Which again, like, odds or whatever. But
yeah, I don't.
how funny is this one? Look at this one. Just standing there like,
Well, that was a joke too. I thought they were trying to like whine about the Ekholm like taking those guys out, but I was like, he hit the guy who had the puck, and then Buddy ran into him, so they both fell over like tough cookies. We can't see the caption.
Well, it's not a caption. It's just that someone cropped Drysdale letting his stick into that photo.
Oh,
Anyways,
I can't see it that well.
there
It's too reflective. That's hilarious, actually.
we go. Like,
Lighting a blend form. I can't even find like my comments on here. What the hell? Anyways, it's gonna be. What do you think? What do you think for tomorrow? Let's just jump right into that. I was started watching, like the New York versus Florida, because like
yeah.
maybe I'm being way too down the road, but I'm like we gotta see what these guys are all about. Like which one of them
Mm-hmm.
throwing a lot of hits, pretty solid play both ways, but like everyone thinks that the Oilers are not a contender, and they are. That's why they're here, and I think they're more of a contender than they've ever been at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean it's annoying. You keep hearing like, oh yeah, like these other teams are just absolute juggernauts. They have like all the best, but also like it would not be the craziest thing for like the Dallas Stars, for like Florida, for one of these teams to flub a series. Like that's not unheard of. That's not strange. That's not very weird. Like that happens all the time. You have good teams with good players that just don't play well, and you have certain teams, the way they play, the way they're structured, the way they're coached, either doesn't provide them to be malleable to adapt and play against a different team. I think one thing that we have really gotten good at, and I think what Knobloch is really, really, really good at, is he's able to adapt, but he's also able to know when not to adapt. Like,
Like just roll with what you're
yeah,
currently doing. Yeah.
yeah, it's like, okay, you get one goal in, maybe Woodcroft would have been like, okay, we're going to switch these lines up right away. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. And then it just goes out the fucking window. Whereas it's like, no, like if we just keep doing this, I know it works. And that's us forcing them to play us, not us just trying to play them. Like you want them to play us. You don't want to play
Well,
them. Like,
hockey's a fast sport. Things happen fast. And like I think the playoffs, what I've noticed the most is a lot of teams have gotten really good at settling it down into controllable bite-sized pieces. Like every part
mm-hmm,
about the game now is very strategic. Like we set up for our defensive zone, we set up for our PK, we set up for our offense, like our cycle.
yeah,
And like the people who, and this is where that elite talent comes in and depth is like adapting to that or punishing the other team for not adapting to it. And I think finally, like the bottom two lines, whatever you want to call them, like Jay Woodcroft always was like, oh, I don't have, I have, there's no bottom lines, just everyone's on line. I'm like, well, it's not true. You need lines to run strategies. Like it's the top two lines goal to score. It's the other two top other lines goal to shut down the other team and like punish them, like and not
yeah,
get scored on. That's like the
yeah,
main breakdown.
yeah.
But it's just like everyone's like, oh, they struggled with Vancouver, went to game 7. That's because they were all incredibly close games. And it wasn't that
And
they like
Vancouver's a good team.
Vancouver was beating up on everybody too.
They
Like
also had
Vancouver's
our
not a bad
number.
team. Yeah.
They were one of the teams that we just was hard for us to play against. Like our style of play compared to theirs, just it was one of those things, right?
Well, and to their credit, they were never out of a game. Like I watched their Preds series too.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was the same thing with the Preds. Like the Preds would go up and somehow, some way Vancouver would crawl back in. Like they were always there. And that's like you have to give props to Vancouver. Like
Like
the
dog
Oilers
shit on
beat
your
them.
shoe.
Yeah, exactly. Like it wasn't that like they struggled with the Vancouver Canucks. They had a lot of times where like Vancouver just capitalized exceptionally well on their mistakes, and the Oilers would, I think, for the majority of that series outplayed them.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't much of a
Well,
majority, but like Vancouver's not a soft team. Dallas isn't either. but neither are the Oilers. It's not like Dallas has just got like the keys to the kingdom. They're in the Stanley Cup final. They got their work cut out for them, and I think the Oilers are going to show them they're incredibly deep. And if Skinner keeps playing like this, boy howdy,
Yeah, I'm kidding. Yeah.
take
No,
your play offs and shove it.
like tomorrow, I don't see why we can't win game 2. I don't see why we can't.
I know, like, what's the script? It's the same. I mean, you go with what works well, and like if the guys are humming, like I don't know. It seems like the top boys, everybody's kind of not as sick as they were, or at least it looked like there was some wheezing and not really like as much jam and pepper. But it's like that seems to have been a fading pipe dream for Dallas that they were always gonna have these guys kind of struggling to keep wind. But
Well,
like
and then
Connor Brown was
just
probably skating faster than I've ever seen him, and
yeah,
the Oilers' depth lines were out hustling Dallas's depth lines.
yeah.
So you can't just put a name and a salary on a player and say they're better. That's
Mhm.
not how hockey works. Sorry.
Well, I think what they saw when they said that like their depth is that they had goal scorers spread out through the lines, guys who could put the puck in the net. But like, so did we during the regular season, and our guys are fast. Like they're so fast, and that's tough. That's hard to play. Like you can be as big and as aggressive as you want, but if you can't catch the thing you're trying to get, I mean, it
Well, you
doesn't
also
really
got to
matter.
quantify goals. Like, are they on the power play? Like, who and why are they scoring? Like, and if it just comes down to goals, it's like the Oilers. They have all of the top scorers, like all
Yeah.
five or four or whatever,
Yep.
are us
That are currently
in the
still playing.
playoffs.
Yeah.
And like, yes, we did struggle against Vancouver. What they do, they pressured those guys really hard. So it's like
And they
it's
still
not,
managed to get points.
and it's the matchups, right? Like it's not about who did what when. And it's funny because if you're talking about the depths of the Dallas Stars and you're referring to their regular season, then you also can't just take Jake Ottinger's playoff stats and say he's a better goalie because you got to take his whole season as well as Stuart Skinner's. You
Yep.
can't just cherry pick data and say this thing compared to that is better because, like, I'm sorry, it's not how it works. It's got to be apples to apples, not apples to oranges.
That's funny that you said cherry picking. That reminds me of something I want to talk about too.
Oh yeah,
Holy fuck, they cherry pick.
the whole first period, hey, there was
I
like
have
one guy on the
never
blue line.
seen an NHL team send a guy so high so much.
I know. I was telling everybody I was watching the game with. I was like, this is beer league shit.
Yeah, like you don't see that. Like that, and it's such cheap ass hockey.
It's confident, it's ballsy. I don't know what that strategy. I know they kind of got rid of it like halfway through the game because it was like, even though Buddy was sprung, he got caught up pretty quick. Like I think Kulak chased down at least one of those
Well, and
attempts.
that's
Like,
where like our speed really helps shut that down because then I know they like to fly the zone, but it's like okay, but you're leaving your guy shorthanded, and it's such a cheap way of playing hockey. Like,
well, it's more entertaining than like the LA Kings, I guess.
but you're like you're gonna just float in the neutral zone and like it's like what are you doing?
I think you only get away with that like twice, and then it doesn't work.
Yeah,
Because like
like
now like they're watching it a lot more,
it
and
didn't
even
work.
then, like as long as you got fresh legs, I'm not actually all that worried about that guy.
Yeah,
Like
I mean it didn't
the
help him.
Danov, he just shot it right at Skinner. Like, sweet, nice
Yeah,
hands, bud. Like, what are you
good for
operating, a
you.
2x4?
Yeah,
But yeah, I was like surprised at how much like blue line surfing there was going on there. I was like,
it was
are you
crazy.
kidding here? Like,
Like
why
they
is there
would,
a guy behind two
yeah, they would
lines?
like start breaking out, and the camera would pan, and there's already a guy at our blue line. I'm like, what?
And I gotta start watching for that if it's just on the change. Like, do they somehow sneak a change and then just throw the guy straight down the ice, or is
I
that
don't
guy
think so.
somehow just breaking out or not back checking? Is that what it is? He's not back checking on the transition?
Maybe sometimes, but they
Like, he's
definitely
just
seem to
staying
like.
back there?
Yeah, they just seem to try and like just chill.
I
It's
mean,
weird.
all the power to you, Dallas. I mean, I don't expect them to come out soft, but, like, if the same Oilers and this is always the problem, and it's obviously the problem for Dallas and Vancouver, right? Like, every team's, like, a little bit Jekyll and Hyde. You don't know what you're gonna get. I don't see
There's
a
no
reason
such
for
thing as
why.
consistent team. I mean, what the last Florida and whatever series, Boston, those games went 5-0, 5-1, like back and forth. It's like what's happening here?
Yeah. Well, no, it's just like that these close game contending games is really going a long ways in proving that Edmonton's means business this year. And they were kind of doing that up until the playoffs started as well. They were getting in
Yeah,
there, bearing down, closing games out.
yeah.
Like, agreed, there's been a number of games where they let the team back in, but at this point, I'm like not clenching my hands as much because you're kind of like, is this seems like part of the script? Like,
Mm-hmm.
they make the other team chase the lead, which is nice because the Oilers of a few years ago was always chasing leads.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like maybe it's kind of nice, maybe it kind of works. I don't want them to lose, but every game that they lost the lead came in like the final 5 to 4 minutes of just like an accidental goal from the other team down to the
Yeah, like
wire.
I don't mind if they actually like outplayed us on a play and they scored, but when it's like here's a pizza in the middle of the ice with no coverage, go ahead, have a shot. It's like like they don't even deserve that. It's not even like it's just that one's annoying.
But at the end of the day, we do have four of the top scorers with a huge margin over anyone else
It's
in
not
the
even
Stanley
close.
Cup Finals at this point. So maybe, the goals for are enough this year to compensate for those mistakes because it's just those mistakes that we're paying for. It's not like everything we're paying for, which is like a lot more lethal to our game last year. Especially because
Well,
like everyone's gonna penalize the Oilers apparently, so at least the PK is flying.
well,
Whoa, 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 whoa.
and I feel like at some point Kane's gonna score, Holloway's gonna score,
Well,
Yammer's
Holloway had
gonna get
Ottinger beat.
another one. McLeod needs to get a fucking goal.
Yeah, didn't he only have like the empty
Fogle
netter?
needs to get a fucking goal.
I
Like
don't
at
care
some
if they
point,
get a
those
goal
guys need
actually.
one.
I just want them to play with level heads and hustle.
Yeah, but
I
they
don't
also
I
need to
don't
get
need
one.
McLeod and Fogle to score.
One. I need one.
I don't, man. Like I don't
One.
like if it's a tap in or it's like a gimme, sure, but that's not their job. I want them to focus on not getting scored on and not doing boneheaded turnovers. Like
Which
that's
is
all
what
I want.
is that, and that's what it seems like they're doing. So like, it is what it is. But
But when you have Draisaitl, Hyman, Bush, and McDavid, and they what do they collectively have? Like,
Ekholm needs to get another one. He was
well, Ekholm was
gross.
destroying LA.
To be fair, like
LA.
I feel like they had a pretty decent sickness going on there. Because like on Oilers Nation, one of the guys, his daughter somehow I think goes to like the same school or something as Ekholm's kid, and I guess his daughter, who's like 3, said that she said like her dad Ekholm was like puking. So it sounded like it was pretty brutal, like, and they fought through it.
Like a flu kind of thing.
Something, yeah.
Wow, I've never seen this. This is kind of funny.
Puck frozen.
Puck in benches. This must be the AI.
Yeah. What is that symbol though?
It's a whistle.
Oh,
I know he had in the third period. Oh, like,
yeah.
I
He
mean, like
gets
the
hit.
Holloway is like, I don't know. This is when he got hit.
What is a giveaway? Like, what do they call a giveaway?
That
What do they call that? Like, he
got the
passed it to
tuck.
them, that it
I
got
feel like
tucked
they
in for him.
probably, even if you got it like your stick lifted, they're gonna call it a giveaway.
That's what I mean. Like, I don't know if I call that a giveaway.
Draisaitl blocked his shot.
Yeah, Drysdale block shot.
It was like this one that he almost scored when he got in there and like he beat everybody he was getting by and then like kind of stuffed it in his pad. There's a few goals that like if the Oilers players just lifted it.
Right, go to the game stats.
Where?
Right there on the side. Go down. Right there. So, face off was actually closer than it felt. Power play was both 0 both ways because we only had one fucking power play. 10-2. Like, that's stupid. We had more hits. We had the same amount of block shots. We had more giveaways. But we also had, yeah. Like, it's not, like, clean up the giveaways. Obviously, don't take as
I
many
don't care about
penalties.
giveaways in the neutral zone. I care about giveaways on the breakout when everybody's. Those ones have cost us. Is like whenever everyone's already out of the zone, the last D man back fans. That's happened twice now. No, I guess the other one wasn't a D man, but it was like that critical don't fuck up point of the breakout of your zone. And I mean, this is also what Dallas is not doing as good as Vancouver did. Vancouver is incredibly good at hemming the Oilers in. Dallas really didn't. Like we had a lot of neutral zone back and forth.
Yeah.
Like Dallas goes for the hit more, but like essentially you had two Vancouver guys were always coming down the boards and jamming up those clearing attempts, and they kept defensive zone pressure for long periods of time because they were doing that.
Yeah.
So if anybody wants to take anything away from that series where they struggled to beat Vancouver, needs to get their head checked because it was not an easy way to win. And it's not Vancouver was doing some very unorthodox things very well. So like
Mm-hmm.
props to them. They were not an easy team to beat by any
No.
means. And I bet you they would have beat Dallas. Like
Well, and like a lot of the
you got a
people were saying,
waning Avs, you got a waning Golden Knights. Like they're twilight teams after their post cup hangovers. You know, like not very many teams nowadays get dynasties.
yeah, they kind of looked like a shell of themselves from what I saw. I didn't see much, but
LTIRs.
I don't know. And like a lot of the guys today were saying that, like, oh yeah, like Dallas, their guys didn't show up, but
Which
they
ones?
haven't.
All of them? The depth guys?
Yeah, and it's
Because
like,
if you're
okay,
so
you show
deep,
me
isn't
what
that
you've
the whole
done.
point?
I know it's like you show me what you've done in the regular season, but in the playoffs, like Robertson's been like, I didn't even see him on the ice to be honest. Like I saw a couple shots of him. It's like, oh, I guess he is out there. That whole like freaking Haskinen guy, nothing blew me away. Like I wasn't like, holy shit, look at this guy. This freaking Stankoven, he's tiny.
Well, and they were all like coping
Manhandle
hard.
him.
They were all coping hard. Like, oh, like sometimes like the long break doesn't hurt, like do as much as it harms. Boo hoo! You had days off. You're telling me that like that. I mean, I guess that would have been the same excuse from the Oilers, and they did come out. But here's the thing: the Oilers had that big break, and they almost beat Vancouver on game one. They just gave it away.
Yeah,
But it's not like they laid an egg on the ice. I thought that like Dallas had a good first period. It was what 9-2 shots or something like that. Like it was not
four
good.
shots. I think it was four. It's like 8-4 or something. 7-3.
But then the Oilers like snapped out of it and came back, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyways, to
Shit,
close
what is this
out the
happening?
show, predictions for tomorrow from Always Tired. What's going on here? What's going to happen? Couple
Oh,
like score predictions. A guesstimate for what the shots for are, and then also who got those goals. On the Oilers, I don't care about the Stars. Let's go.
shots four.
Get it. Get it. Get it.
Okay. I want to say 5-2.
That's the goal. That's the
Yep.
score. Oh
Yep.
wow. Okay,
5-2.
Jarrett. Always Tired slinging.
I They're gonna open it up 5-2. And shot count 34. I'm gonna say McDavid's gonna get another one. Dry's gonna get another one. Holloway, I think he gets one. Kaner, and let's go with one out of left field. Let's go Yanmark.
Wow, no
I would,
defenseman.
I would say
Robin the
Yanmark or
defense.
Bush. Yanmark or Bush.
Bush isn't out of left field. Almost expected at this point.
You?
Oh man. I mean, my heart says the Oilers win, but my head says Dallas comes back and like it's like a very close game, like 2-1. Um but just for the sake of competing with your guess here so I get to name more people, I'm going to say 4-3 Oilers. A bit of a nail biter. And it's Hyman, Holloway, Bush, and McDavid.
Yeah, I think Dable's gonna get another one for sure.
Well, you heard it here first, folks. That's the you don't even need to watch the game tomorrow. You already know
No,
what's going to happen. So
we see the future in two different
crystal
realities.
orb.
We just find out which reality actually happens.
What's your like realistic? You think Dallas somehow scoops it? What do you
Huh?
think Dallas does? If you're a Dallas fan, what do you think happens tomorrow?
Well, obviously, if I'm a Dallas fan, I think Dallas wins. But
Why? How much? What's the
I
score?
don't know, man. The way we played them, the way they like.
Oh, I didn't say shots. I think it's going to be 34 shots. Or wait, you said 34,
That's what
right?
I said. Yeah, fuck off.
28 then.
Ooh, low shots.
28. Yeah, 28, 25. Everyone's going to kind of clamp down a bit for the Oilers.
I don't know. I think we're gonna break Ottinger. I think we're gonna break him.
Just bust his brain.
Yep. Snap it wide open.
What's in there?
The AI. Yeah, gotta put AI in the net.
Yeah, get the cool laser show. Get the
So bad.
get the lasers going.
I'll send it to you.
Smoke
You can
screen.
watch it later.
All right, well, that was basically a show. We'll see what we're gonna do tomorrow. Maybe we'll do another day after, night before.
Yeah.
But what's
Let's
going
go Oilers.
LFG.
LFG. LFG.
All right. Till next time. Here we go.